Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
You straight? You good?
I'm definitely not straight.
Not straight.
I'm not straight, but I am ready.
Good. Yeah, okay, alright.
This is The Mud Peddlers, a podcast where two nerdy ceramic artists share the behind the scenes of their worlds of clay. We are your hosts, Lindsey M Dillon.
And I am Donte of Earth Nation.
This week on The Mud Peddlers, we are doing part two.
Part two! Yeah!
Of our 2023 year review.
We could do like Amigos thing, you know?
Yeah?
Like you can say a thing and I'll just be the ad-libs in the back.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah!
Yeah?
Yeah!
Oh, I don't think I have that much content to say. Oh, God.
See?
Yeah, I think this is where everybody unsubscribes from the Mud Peddlers.
I don't have to come up with lyrics.
It's been a great 3-year journey, guys.
Yeah,
we're done.
Yeah, we're gonna start our rap career now.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. People are gonna just love it.
Lindsey's gonna just say hi, guys, and go, sup?
Yeah. Yeah. We're drinking our caffeinated tea, but I'm not gonna lie. I got up really early this morning for a dentist appointment that went horribly, so
I heard about it and I'm so sorry.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
I kind of want to hit him, not gonna lie.
I'm gonna be writing a strongly worded letter.
I assume it's a guy. I just assume it's a guy.
It is, actually.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, last episode, we did a look back on 2023 and kind of went over what our goals were, you know, what we met, what we didn't meet. And this episode, we're looking forward. So we're looking at what our goals are for 2024.
Yeah, I have a couple things in mind. Mine are pseudo-personal and pseudo-community-based.
Yeah, let's cover it all.
Yeah,
let's just
cover all of it.
Let's make your life some toast, and let's just spread some butter and jam all over it.
I feel like you're not thinking about butter and jam.
I am actually thinking about butter and jam. I am hungry.
Okay,
so you said you had some goals associated with both personal stuff and community stuff. Let's do, well, I'll let you choose what you want to do first.
I need to lose weight 100%.
Oh.
I need to lose like 20 to 30 pounds easily.
Okay.
20 is my goal.
Mm-hmm.
30 is what I'm going for. Now, I will say that it is only because I have noticed that I'm like more tired, not as active.
Like you're feeling the negative impacts on your body?
Yeah, not only that, and I think that's partially because of age. Not only that, it's and I think this is just a guy thing. I feel like I have been domesticated by marriage to a degree.
Oh, that's interesting. I want to unpack that.
I feel like I was once some type of like, wouldn't say a wolf, but some sort of like dangerous young person who like, here's a quote I heard earlier, right? It was like, you're not peaceful because in order to be peaceful, you have to have some sort of dangerous about you. You have to be a threat in order to be peaceful, right? Mm-hmm. You're just not threatening at this point. Like, in order to be peaceful, you have to have the capacity to do a lot of damage and then not do damage by choice.
That's really interesting.
A lot of people just can't be doing damage in the first place. You're not really peaceful. You're just not dangerous.
Okay.
And I feel like I've been undangerous by the marriage and the home life.
Why so?
I don't know. And in a perfect world, my daughter's going to get to an age where I can take her to work out and like, train with me. And, like, do forms and teach her how to spar and get her gloves and whatnot. But, like, she's, like, 2 right now, so that's not now, for sure.
Yeah. I think that is a really interesting look
I'm telling you.
At, like, masculinity, you know?
I think it is. I think it's purely a masculinity thing. But I will say it's not like I don't think women don't experience this.
Well, sure. It's just within a different, like, framework, you know? But I mean, that makes sense. Like, y'all had a person. You're taking care of a baby. Like, that's gonna change your whole life. Like...
Yeah, because when you have a kid... It's not even a marriage portion thing. It's just kind of comes along with the package, I guess, sometimes. Just
general, like, the domestic sphere.
Yeah, the domestic sphere, right? And so it's I think what's going on is, like, I had to sit down for almost 2 years straight to watch my kid. And then it came right after COVID where we were all just, like, in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And even though I'm really active, like, I do a lot of physical work per day, the amount of calories and sitting that I'm doing and the amount of, like, editing I'm doing stacked with, like, having a kid and right after COVID is stacking to such an extent where I'm just hoarding calories and my body's like, well, I gotta put somewhere. It's on you, dog. Yeah. It's on you. I'm lucky that I've only gained like 15 to 20 pounds instead of... Because even when you look at videos of me getting my kiln on my YouTube channel, like when I first got my KMT 1027.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like 10 pounds lighter and you could see it in my face.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So I gotta lock it in.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I wanted to do Season of the Unbroken or Season of the Flex, which is a new season in... my YouTube channel.
Yes, that's right. Season of the Flex.
And I wanted to just like show. I barely want to. I'm gonna be extra rude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be extra sussy boy.
Oh God.
I'm gonna be extra mean. Not like outwardly mean, but It's not going to be a good time for...
Okay.
Some people going to get offended for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But because of my new job at Sun City that gives me a gym, I now have the perfect formula to cook chicken and rice, have a protein shake in the morning, go to work, go to the gym for an hour, go back to work, go home, and eat a fatty dinner and still be under calorie.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I think these two will stack in the same way that the COVID having a kid sitting down stacked.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I think we talked about it or I think you mentioned it in the last episode, but yeah, for those listening who may not know, or maybe who are tuning into the Mud Peddlers for the first time, in which case, hi, welcome.
How you doing?
And also if you're returning, hi.
You look cute today.
Welcome back. You're gorgeous.
Especially if you got glasses and curly hair.
And you got a stunning personality no matter what you
Well, I mean...
they do.
Yeah,
they're beautiful. We're doing an unabated,
my bad.
happy vibe right now.
We're just lying to people now?
No!
Oh, okay, that was fine.
All right, I was going to say something else, and then I completely lost train of my thought.
My bad.
Okay, so basically for context, for those who may not know, Donte's new job teaching at Sun City. He'll have a morning class, about a 2-hour break in the afternoon, and then an evening class. And so you're basically talking about during that 2-hour break, being able to utilize that time to go to the gym, which is a part of the facility of the retirement community that you're teaching in.
Right, because I guess the entire thing is, like, I was like, ooh, a gym. And they're like, you can use that. And I was like, what? And they go, yeah, you can. Any employee can use the facilities at any time free of charge, essentially.
That's pretty sweet.
And that includes, like, the gym, the swimming pool, the walking. They have, like, a walking track. But I'm very excited about it, because on top of the pay raise, essentially, they're like, you can also use the gym. And I was like, well, I'm locked in. I'm here.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
I can work it into my... Like, imagine you're a government worker, and then you have a gym downstairs in the government building and a 2-hour break.
Yeah.
You're just going to work out, right?
That's pretty sweet.
Or rot your brain with scrolling. Whichever one you
want,
I guess.
Do you ever do specific exercises to help with, like, mitigating the positions that you're in the studio?
No. I'm pretty lucky in that I don't have a lot of body pain at my age. A lot of my peers will be like, yeah, once I hit, like, 29 or 31 or 32, I just woke up with knee pain. I just don't have that.
That's awesome.
I have, like, overwork syndrome, where, like, I wake up with a stress headache or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But most of it's just mental. And then also, like, when I got adopted by the martial art family, they showed me how to really, like, take care of my body in a certain way physically.
That's good.
So I know the stretches that I need to do on a daily basis to make sure or mitigate that kind of age progression.
I feel like I've noticed that a lot for myself too. Like, because part of the reason I want to, like, go over this a bit is because I think, especially for folks who want to be doing ceramics for a long time, like, taking care of your body is such a huge thing. And that's one of the, like, goals that I want to do next year is actually figure out if I can meet with a physical therapist, even if it's just a couple times a year, to be like, or like a physical therapist / occupational therapist.
Yeah.
So they can be like, all right, these are some things that you can do to, like, specifically counterbalance the positions that you're in a lot of the time. What I have noticed, which has been good, which I'm glad is a habit I've kept a habit for a while, is actually stretching every night. Or if I don't stretch at night, then I'll stretch, like, the next morning. And there's been a few times throughout the last, like, I don't know, 10 years where I've, slacked off a little bit, but I'm pretty good about stretching almost every night. And I've noticed, like, there's been a few periods of times where it's like after SAC Anime winter last year, I took like 2 weeks off. I didn't do shit.
That was great.
I played I played video games like all day. I didn't stretch, and like,
that was a different Lindsey.
Dude, yeah, it was great. Yeah. It was great. By like day 5 though, my lower back was killing me. I was in so much pain.
You know how, like, having cold and hot on a specific part of your body increases the chance of carpal tunnel?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, so a lot of us potters will put hot water on a cold day inside of our throwing buckets.
I literally have done that.
We all do that.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, I talked to my doctor about it, actually. And he was like, yeah, it's a form, it, like, affects your bones if you do hot, cold all the time. He goes, if you're going to do it, just use hot water once and then let it slowly go down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's kind of more what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, you gotta be careful with that.
That's interesting.
Like, it's not super bad, but he says it does increase the chance in the same way that, like, bad foods increase the chance of heart attack.
Sure. Yeah.
He's like, if you were going to get a heart attack, it's probably genetic in the first place. But it's not like eating tons of hamburgers a day will help that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm happy that you're turning that into a habit. I've been trying that too, but it's difficult with a child running around.
Yeah.
I used to do this thing where I would make a deal with myself where I'd say I either have to meditate, do 1 to 2 sets of an exercise, so like abs and biceps. I would just do sit-ups, or I would get a free weight. I have one in my house, and I would do like 10 on this side, 15 on this side, 15, 15, 10, 10. or I would have to read a portion of a book.
Oh, nice.
Once a day, I'd have to do at least one of those 3 things.
That reminds me of something I gotta cover a little bit later.
Tell me. No, tell me now.
Okay, so...
I'm done. I don't need to talk anymore.
Okay, so one of the things that I started, again, you know me, I will sometimes procrasti-plan.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's your thing, actually.
It is one of my things. Procrasti-planning, basically, like, I'll set up, like, a schedule, or I will basically plan so much and then, like, not always follow through with the things that I've planned on in terms of just production goals or whatever it is.
Yeah,
know?
I get it, yeah.
So one of the things that I set up on this app called Habitica, which is super cute. It's basically like a gamify your life type of app. Some of the things that I have set up, this is going to sound so cheesy, but I started using this terminology where I describe stuff as either like chaos magic or as like sorcery.
Oh yeah.
So my chaos magic.
This tracks.
It's we're looking at the workday outline. So it's like morning routine from 9 to 10 a.m., work in the studio from 10 to 5, evening check-in from 5 to 6, and then I have this section called sorcery. And sorcery is basically creative things that aren't directly related to art, but that I know help the overall well-being of my creativity. And it can be cooking, it can be baking, it can be taking care of my plants. Not that they take up much care because they're all like succulents. It could be practicing the violin, it could be drawing, it could be creative writing, but it's basically stuff that's not related to work. But it's also not video games or TV. And that is under a category that I call chaos magic. So the idea of chaos magic is stuff that's like sorcery, but it's more like addictive because it's, again...
Because it's a video game.
It's a video game. Of course it's going to be more addictive.
I'm tricking myself into playing my health.
Exactly. So I've been trying to do a thing so that sorcery is Monday through Thursday, and then chaos magic can be Friday through Sunday, but no other days. Am I successful at that? No. But is it a goal? Yes.
It helps.
It does, yeah. So essentially what I'm trying to do is keep my creative world well-rounded, and even though I know that, watching shows or playing video games, like, to me, that's still a part of my creative world because it's being geeky. It's like seeing, so it's not like it's bad or anything like that. It's part
of your personality, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I have other things, like I'm trying to do this thing where I call going to the gym practicing blood magic. And I'm trying to do another thing that, like, reading my financial literacy book is like worshiping the god of order. I have found that for when I need to proverbially eat my vegetables, thinking about those tasks in terms of like magic and like a fantasy setting kind of helps me get it done. I know it's silly. The only reason I'm sharing
it. Silly, you're just psyop-ing yourself.
I am. You know what? Hey, if it works, it works. So, yeah. I want to be able to do this full time, and I know that I have to maintain like a balanced life to be able to continue making stuff and not running out of the creative juices.
Is the reason you brought up the chaos magic and sorcery magic thing because you label them that way in the game for your app? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I label them that way.
But they don't set them that way. You can label them.
No. Yeah. You can like label all your own. I swear this isn't an ad, but Habitica is great.
I'm going to download it.
Do it. Yeah. It's real. I'll show you afterwards how I set mine up. It's really fun.
Lindsey and I used to have this thing called Finch.
I still use Finch.
I don't use Finch because it started to annoy me.
That's fair.
I guess I'm an old man in the factor of like, when I go to a store, it actively annoys me that you're trying to get me to do something that is not what I came here to do. It's just like, I have the amount of money I need to get an item from the store. I want to give you the amount of money. And I want you to give me the item, and then I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Okay.
After that. Like, I don't want... When you ask me for my email, no. Okay. When you ask me if I've been here before, no. Okay. If you ask me for my frequent shopper card, I'm either going to give it to you in preparation for it, and it's my responsibility to remember that, or I'm going to give you the money and you're going to give me the item without the shopper card. Okay. And that means I either forgot or I don't want it.
What's the thing? What did Finch do? And also for some context, Finch also works, or it can work as a habit building app, but I would say its focus is a little bit more towards mental health. Yeah. So I actually use both. I use Finch primarily for mental health, and I use Habitica as like a set of goals and templates for what I want my workday and like life to be.
They kind of remind me of calorie tracking apps where like after 2 months of tracking your calories, your body really starts to adjust to the new lifestyle and you start to understand what foods have what amount of calories in it. Mm-hmm. So you just kind of stop using it. You're like, I kind of get it now. You know, it's more of a habit forming tool than it is something that you have to like carry for your entire life.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to maintain a certain body weight or goal. But whenever I want to reform a new habit or at least a new set of calories, it's not like a pill. Like, I gotta take this for the rest of my life now sometimes. Now it's like, it helps you for a bit and then you can stop after a while.
Yeah. I use Finch with varying frequency. Like, I'll be really on it for a little while, but then I also kind of realize, like, I don't have to sign in every day. Like, unless I want the little rewards, because they do little, like, things where if you, like, sign in and do the stuff, you get, like, cute equipment and stuff. It's fun.
It makes me feel guilty because, for context, your Finch can be friends with other people's Finches, and they essentially give you this Tamagotchi-esque little person to take care of. And the more productive you are, the more it goes on adventures, then it grows, and it gets different clothes.
Well, it's not even productivity, though, because, like, I don't use it to track any of, like, the things that I do. I use it as a mental dump space. So if I'm, like, angry about something, like my dentist appointment this morning, I can check it.
She's very mad about it.
Dude, you should have seen me this morning. I was so pissed.
I'm mad for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But so it can be just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write several sentences about how frustrated I am, just to like vent. And then sometimes it'll give you prompts about like, oh, what brightened your day today? And I'll write some sentences about that. So just like engaging with the app that way, you can also get points. So it doesn't have to be like, oh yeah, I did my 20 sit-ups or whatever.
You could essentially journal. I mean, I use it as a more physical thing, but it definitely is, you're right, a more mental game type of thing, I suppose. I wouldn't call it a game, but it's more mental positivity. Like, you can put a journal in there, and then every like 5 letters counts as a point, and you need 20 points in one day to make it go on an adventure. And once it comes back from an adventure, that's 1 in 20 times it goes on an adventure to where it comes back. And then it goes on an adventure, it comes back and it tells you something. And then our Finches can be friends, like, go on adventures together.
Yeah. The adventure that it comes back and tells you about, you have, like, a prompt to then, like, respond. And how you respond gives your Finch different personality traits. So it's kind of like, oh, this is like... Anyway.
It is cool, but it does seem like a pseudo-responsibility. Like, I gotta take care of this thing now, you know? And once I got a child, I just dropped it. I was like, I don't want to take care of you.
Yeah.
I got something more important.
I got the real BB to take care of.
And on top of that, every day it would be like, don't forget to log into Finch. And I'm like, all right, you Duolingo pushy. God, leave me alone. So I stopped. It's a Pokemon Go. I uninstalled Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Because it kept on being like, hey, you don't have any eggs incubating. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I'm busy not playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing something else. And it's like, are you sure you don't want to play with me? And I'm like, it's not that I don't want to. I
gotta leave.
I can't go for a run or a walk right now in the middle of the day while I'm watching my baby and being productive. Like, I have 20 minutes to fuse these handles to these cups.
Yeah.
Before my baby wakes up from her nap.
Speaking of which, what are some of the other either community or like studio goals that you have for this next year?
At the moment, I'm just gearing up for the SAC anime table.
Okay.
I do have a pipeline goal. I think
for
forever. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy a green screen.
Okay.
And I'm going to because I've been making PowerPoints and presentations for classes for the past like half a year. And so I come to the class at IMCO, which I'm not working at anymore. Actually, tomorrow's my last class. And then I'm done. And I would get the projector and I'd put the PowerPoint up and I go, okay, let's talk about S-cracks and how they're formed and what are the things that increases the chance of S-cracks versus the things that reduce the chance of S-cracks and why they exist and things of that nature. And I realized, because my beautiful wife actually said this, she's like, buy a green screen and talk in front of the green screen and then put yourself in front of the PowerPoints and teach classes online that way and sell them as packages.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I was like, you're right. I could do that. But I think that's a pipe dream. That's definitely like in a year. Because I have like an hour or 2 a day of productive time. And in those times, it also doubles as my relaxation time. So in that time, I have to figure out whether I'm going to like plan a video or do this or do that. So sometimes, like once a week, I'll sit down for 2 hours or so and be like, let's talk about S-cracks. And then I'll make an entire PowerPoint of S-cracks. It's not too hard. I have the information in my head and then I have the sources. And then I think to myself, I could probably get a green screen and then sell this as a video.
Yes. So still having your YouTube channel, but having essentially more detailed, more like class style videos that people could purchase through your website.
Also, people seem to want that. Like when I said that I was going to teach classes at IMCO, people were like, I can't physically be there.
Yeah.
So I would buy classes from you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? If there's a demand for it, I can probably supply it.
I think that's a great idea.
But I need to buy a green screen, you know. And it lasts forever online unless I want to update them. So you put them online and then people buy a package of them. They have access to a package for whatever amount of time, but I could probably just be like unlimited, really.
Yeah. I could see that you wouldn't even necessarily have to have the green screen. Like there are, like, again, I see the appeal, like, in terms of design-wise, that would be a good option.
Yeah.
But I think there could I think you could explore other ways of demonstrating your work as well.
Yeah.
If the green screen either
didn't pan out,
or if it, like, because I don't know about you, but, like, sometimes, like, having to do a certain thing will become, like, a block for me, and then I won't make any progress on that specific goal.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The amount of times I want to say a sentence and it doesn't translate properly on YouTube, and so I say it like 20 times over again.
Oh, yes.
So while I'm editing, I'm like, this guy needs to get his shit together. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then I hit that one sentence with the correct amount of cadence and the correct definitions. I'm like, yes, that was it.
Yes.
But sometimes it takes a while to get into that groove. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes I can't just start cold.
Yeah, I hear that. I can't
just put 225 on the bench. Dang, go do a warm-up set. Christ.
Yeah. Bench pressing. So timeline-wise, what do you think would be like, is it kind of this goal? It sounds like it's a little bit more of like at some point, maybe this time next year, check in and see about doing it more. Like, do you think you would want to start any of the production on these this year, or?
Well, because I'm working at Sun City now, I'm having to make new courses for them. And because I have the previous experience behind me of making the other courses, I'm starting to mix in some of the knowledge and experience I have with the new ones.
Right.
So I've made them 2 classes already, but there's a beginning class and an advanced class. There's no intermediate class.
Right. I guess I'm more mean for the online videos that you're wanting to do, that teaching.
Well, they're going to cycle into each other, I think.
Oh, okay,
so
I got you.
What I've started to kind of do is I've started to make the online videos already, but I'm doubling them up as Sun City videos.
Oh, I got you.
If that makes sense. So
yeah.
Oh, this is probably the video I'm going to show. This is probably the PowerPoint I'm going to show for the classes I sell. But now that I'm a personal teacher for Sun City specifically, I'm like, I could probably use a lot of these for my actual teaching.
Gotcha.
Since they are basically both classes.
Yes.
They're kind of the same information. You know, I have one page with, and this is a bit of a side point, but I had made 2 or 3 slideshows, or PowerPoints rather, with like, here are the packages of tools you're going to buy. There's 2 of them. They're both from Kemper. There's a more expensive one. Buy the more expensive one. And then I go over the reasons of, like, here's why we're buying the more expensive one. They're made of different metals. They don't cut you as easily. They last longer. They're not as bendable.
Yeah.
Right? But these are, like, personal things that I think people who are beginning or being initiated into the culture would not know. That I want people at Sun City and people watching the video itself to know.
Yes.
So it's like $5 more for the more expensive package. And it comes with, like, a tool that's a little bit, not off-brand, but, like, doesn't come in the other package. Buy it.
Okay, yeah.
Just buy the more expensive one. It's made of better material. It's better quality tools. But a lot of people come to me like, I bought the package. It was $5 more. I didn't want to waste the money. And I'm like, just waste it.
Yeah.
It's not really a waste. Yeah. Just buy it. And that's the kind of stuff I go over, is the little, the nitty-gritty stuff.
Yeah.
That most potters don't address.
Right. No, that makes sense. I think that'll be really helpful information.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I can do the Sun City thing, and then while I'm there, lose weight because I'm fat, and then probably do those PowerPoint presentations and make at least a beginner, an intermediate, and advanced.
Oh, okay.
The problem for me is that I think the beginning stages are gonna be a lot of classes. It's gonna be like fully flushed out. I'm gonna be like, cool, we're gonna talk about all the beginner shapes and all the things you're gonna come across and the mistakes you're gonna make in XYZ and XYZ and XYZ. So it's gonna be like stacks of classes for one package.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a while,
Yeah. If y'all hear any clicking, it's my heater, my little space heater.
Just a predator in the background.
So yeah.
Hunting.
Yeah. It'll be fine though, because I'm about to, the chest burster is about to come out of my chest.
Yeah.
And then I'll have an alien to fight it. Yeah, I won't be around to see it, but
Well, they put the egg inside of us. Yeah. But they didn't fertilize the egg. So like we're fine until we go back.
Yeah.
And get fertied.
Ew. I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but one of the things I really noticed looking back at this last year is that I didn't really have very many specific goals. I have a couple big ones this year. The biggest one that I have in terms of like in the studio production is I actually sat down and looked at all the different events that I'm going to be doing next year. And I planned out, okay, these are the in-person events. These are how many online updates I'm going to do. These are the kind of updates that I'm going to do, like in terms of made to order or like specialty designs, like the Dragon Egg mugs, essentially planning all of that out. And then backfilling and going, okay, if I want to have this much inventory for all of these in-person events, how many mugs do I need to make every month to be able to have a not super stressed out holiday season? Because again, this year I've had a couple panic moments, right?
Right.
So my production goal is between February and October to make 100 pieces a month.
Okay.
And I think I can do that because one of the things I've realized is that I can actually make things a lot faster than I anticipated as long as I batch them.
Yes.
So instead of, I think I again mentioned this last time, but instead of doing like 20 teacups and then 30 mugs and then 20 steins, it's just like doing, all right, I'm gonna bust out like 100 cups. Like it is so much easier for me to do that than mix and match the way that I kind of have been. So 100 a month from February through October. And then I have a block of time set up between October and December for the second part of my big goal this year. So by January of next year, I want to apply to Sac State's graduate degree program, their MFA. And I almost applied this year. You know, again, I've mentioned this a few different times and it's been off of my radar for a long time, but it's kind of been a combination of like, all right, first of all, I'm very lucky that because my mom is a professor there, I have like a big discount on what the tuition would be. So that's huge. And the other thing is that even though I don't necessarily know if I'm going to plan on teaching, having the MFA just could open more doors that I'm not even aware that I want to walk through yet.
100%.
Yeah. So I have a few things planned out, like visiting the campus like several times. Like I met with Scott Parody, one of the professors there, before the pandemic started. So as I'm keeping up with these big like production goals, I've set various like time periods for like, okay, this is when I'm going to go to the campus. This is when I'm going to start working on my like admissions essays. And again, of course, all of this is
the pipeline.
It's the pipeline.
It's the pipeline.
It's the pipeline. Yeah. And it's the structure that I have as a goal, knowing that, you know, the old joke about making God laugh is telling him your plans, right? But it feels good to have more structure because, again, I don't do well without structure. Like, I think...
Yeah.
The
You need a routine of some sort.
Yeah.
Even if your routine is just to, like, throw the routine out the window. That's still kind of a routine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Okay, so your routine is just do whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Your routine is.
But as long as you have, like, a set of goals of, like, okay, I may not end up doing this thing, but I know that I've thought through the problems that could come up, and if I do X, Y, Z, I will have a better chance of mitigating those potential problems.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that very much comes with, again, like, experience, because when you're first starting out, you may not realize, like, what different things can come up. And sorry, I moved my thing right as it wasn't. I didn't fart. I swear, it was my cup. It was my cup. I'm sorry. Whoa. So the other things that I had listed out in terms of structure is like Patreon post timing, night peddlers, mud peddlers, a cup production, and then MFA check-in. And those are the biggest categories that I had to plan out.
I'm trying to be more organized with my stuff. And I've been fighting it for a while, but there's just things that people are more attracted to. In at least production work, right? So, like, if I make an Avatar cup, people are buying that.
Right.
You know? And I'm like, I really don't want to really get myself into making tons of Avatar cups. But realistically speaking, if I'm going to put some type of effort into my time that's valuable to me at a later time, it has to be that. Yeah. And that's what finances my experiments that I need to stop.
I don't know. I mean...
I bought a crystal glaze class. Because I know how to make crystal glaze, but the problem is they've always been super runny. And I watched the class, and I'm like, for some reason I thought there was like a mineral or a chemical or a flux ratio that, or some type of something ratio that would be like the perfect amount that would make it crystally and not runny at the same time.
Okay.
But there's not. The best crystals are really developed by the crystal expressing themselves under certain amounts of heat. And usually you have to have some type of kiln schedule that produces that amount of energy or heat that allows usually zinc crystals to express themselves in different forms.
Okay.
So in the video, he was like, okay, here's the crystal bursting at this temperature, and then I put it at this temperature for this long, and this little line of white here, zinc, is expressing itself at this energy, at this, like, whatever, 1100, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes, okay, and then I take it down, and this is this line of crystals, kind of like lines in a tree when you chop it down.
Oh, okay.
Every line is a different expression of the zinc crystal underneath certain amounts of heat.
Okay.
Right? And so he has like, hold it here for 30 minutes, and hold it here for 10 minutes, and hold it here for 20 minutes. And then he gives you the recipe, and then he's like, now I'm going to show you how to make sure that it doesn't run. And it's just I'm so mad. It's just a list of precautions to make sure that it catches the run.
Oh.
I was just like, you're already doing all the things I know how to do. You're just stacking them all.
Oh.
You know what I mean? He's like, make a clay cookie and then put a little layer of alumina right here on the clay. And then make your clay cookie like this. And then if you have advancer shelves, make sure you put them on advancer shelves. And I'm like, you didn't really stop it from running. You're just mitigating the run.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess it's my fault because I bought a Matt Katz class a long time ago. And he gave me, like, the sauce.
Yeah.
He gave me, like, here's what you do.
Uh-huh.
Here's the chemistry to it. Here's what it looks like. And here's how you do it. And I'm like, cool. You just gave me the answers that I wanted. I sat down and watched your stuff for hours.
Yeah.
And I was hoping the other guy also would be like, here's just do this.
Yeah.
This is the chemistry to it. But he's like, no, it's going to run. It's probably going to run.
Oh, okay. So it didn't really give you the answer that you were looking for.
Yeah, I don't think the answer I'm looking for exists is the issue. I think you can make a crystal glaze that's stable, but it doesn't get the crystals or the expression that you want in the crystals. You make like a kind of a crystal glaze. Yeah. But the big round bursts that we're used to seeing online are like 11 and 12 or 13 hour kiln loads. You know, my medium kiln load for my KMT is like 8-9 hours. Yeah. Even with a small hold. Their stuff is like every hour has like 40 minutes here and 10 minutes here and 30 minutes here, you know? Yeah. Luckily, it doesn't really affect the rest of the kiln load. It's like my Ron Royce High Gloss Black comes out fine and my glazes come out fine. And this is all to say that I have about 8 test tiles in the kiln right now. Oh my gosh. 2 of which are crystal glazes and 1 of which is an ancient copper test to see if I can get ancient copper. Yeah. On that front, for those of you who have been following along with me, is I no longer think ancient copper is a tin chrome glaze that has crystals in it. I now think that it is a crystal glaze that just has red mason stain in it.
Oh, interesting.
Because I think at its heart, ancient copper is just a crystal glaze. Because when I used it, it was like a red background and then it had crystals developing in it. Because I put a small hold on my stuff. And a lot of people don't see that. Yeah. Because they use it and they get like the normal stuff from it. Right. But now I'm like, there's got to be Guernsey borate in this. There got to be some amount of borate in this, Guernsey borate. And then I'm like, well, the crystals are developing really separate from the red color themselves. And then I look at the juice, you know, like in the bottle, the glaze itself. And I'm like, this is not red iron oxide, clearly. It's not that deep red unless they have a special iron. And there's really only red iron oxide, yellow iron oxide, black iron oxide. It ain't black and yellow. This is a different tinge of red. And then I look at my mason stain. I'm like, that looks kind of like the red that it is.
Oh, interesting.
And then I put it on a hold because I had a bit left. And then I was like, there are crystals developing in this. So now I think it's a crystal glaze that just has red mason stain in it at certain ratios, right? And the cool thing is that a lot of mason stains have zinc in them for some reason. I think it stabilizes the color. But zinc is what you use to make a crystal glaze anyway.
Oh, nice. So
now I'm like, okay, so they're just stacking zinc.
Yeah.
With red is what they're doing.
Oh, I can't wait to see how it turns out.
That's my hypothesis at the moment. No, at the moment, I'm testing Tony Hansen's, the creator of Digital Fire, Tony Hansen. I'm testing Tony Hansen's version of it. He took Randy's red and pretty much used black iron oxide and changed the chemistry around a little bit. I'm gonna figure out ancient copper.
I believe in you.
My next
is that an official 2024 goal?
Yeah, so it's lose weight and then figure out ancient copper, and I'm probably gonna develop 2 more glazes. But I only say that because I'm trying to figure out ancient copper so hard that I'm accidentally developing other glazes. So
that's great.
It's not like I'm going for it. I'm not trying to make like, and I'm on a Nimmo after Digimon, of course. But, like, I'm not trying to develop Dante's, like, Devimon. Right, which is, like, a black oil spot, whatever. I'm just like, well, it's a new glaze, I guess.
Huh, that's great.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this.
Oh, put it up on glazing.
Well, yeah, I'm probably going to put it up on glazing. Yeah. I can't delete Greymon, by the way.
What?
Remember I was supposed to start deleting glazes? I can't delete it. So it's up there forever.
Why can't you delete it?
When you go on glazing and you lock in a glaze, they tell you very clearly, like, this is going to exist forever on Glazy. Are you sure you want to do that? You cannot change it or delete it. It cannot be changed.
Oh,
So most people put their stuff into testing. Because once you put it into locked production, it doesn't come off.
Oh, that sucks.
And so I told everyone, like, get the Gray Long Glaze now, because I'm going to delete it. I pushed delete, and then I saw it gone, and then I told everybody on Facebook, it's gone now. And then 2 or 3 people were like, no, it's still there.
Oh, man.
It's still up. One person just posted the recipe, and I was like, oh, I can't take it off.
Well, you know, honestly, I mean, you're developing so many other glazes, I feel like it'll be all right.
Well, it's also a glaze that comes off of the heels of my base glaze, and my base glaze is surprisingly good. So like, I'm just gonna make another glaze and then put that on non-visual, like you won't be able to see it. By this time I could have developed 4 more glazes, but I've learned my lesson. Never putting that unlocked again.
Yep, good to know.
Because I can't change the information if I find new information. Like Gara's Red, if you don't mix it at least like once every week and a half, it settles hard. It has a lot of sodium in it. And I was like, well, I can't change it now. I'm just like gonna try and lose weight really hard, and I'm gonna try and make these lessons really, like, that is my goal for, and then of course production work. Yeah,
I think for me though, a big goal that I'm letting go of that I started with last year was the whole writing a book thing. I still want to do that, but I think I feel like I've been so stressed out about like finances this last year that I'm like, I gotta see if I can if I can keep up with that production schedule, of course, and if I get into Sac State's MFA program, then I'll, my life will be completely different because, I won't be on my regular, I'll be in school full time, which actually that reminds me of something I forgot to mention is, so with October through December for 2024, the reason I don't have those included in the like 100+ cup per month category is those are going to be dedicated to sculpture making times, because I want my portfolio to have more sculptural pieces and more like recent sculptural pieces.
Right.
So last year, one of the things I feel like I remember saying is that I wanted to kind of just hone in and not really change that much.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of in that same boat now, but I'm just being a lot more specific with my goals. And I think I'm hoping that helps me feel a lot more successful, because I feel like this, like if I were to say like the vibe this whole past year has kind of just been like disorganized and not very disciplined.
Yeah.
And I think I want to reverse that trend and be more disciplined, and I think goal setting is a lot of that for me. The other, I forgot. Okay, this is a little slightly more on the personal side, but in line with that whole like discipline thing. So you know me, I have a hard time waking up early. I am very much a night owl, but one of the things that I started doing earlier this fall is getting together with friends once a week in the mornings. So I'll meet up with my friend Jack or my friend Sarah, and we'll get together at a cafe at like 8:30 in the morning. So that I have a reason to be up, because I am not going to do it if it's just me.
Social? So, you're going to be social at 8 a.m. in the morning?
No, it's fine though, because I just get coffee and we hang out for a little bit, and then, we'll do some like co-working stuff. So it's like, we sort of have a thing where we'll like chat and hang out for like maybe 30 minutes, and then we'll like work on stuff for like an hour, and maybe there's a little bit of chatting in between then, but it's largely about like just getting up on time, because I have other friends who are also either self-employed or have like flexible work schedules.
That sounds really nice, actually.
It is yeah. Like if you ever, well, of course, no, your schedule's always so crazy all the time, you probably wouldn't be able to, but
it seems to me, and I feel so strange about it, because when I was younger, I used to make fun of these habits. Like, that's some old man shit,
Yeah, well, this old man gotta do shit.
And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, there's a reason they do that.
Yes.
It's not like they did it because they just changed, and they're just like, oh, I just felt like doing it this way.
Yeah.
Like, we're not a monolith because we have some emotional value attached to it. Like, we just all felt like doing it at once for some reason. It's like, oh, there's reasons behind it. So the only time I can really get to have production or productive work myself is to do it before my wife and baby wake up.
Yes.
So I have to wake up at like 6 or 7 a.m.
Good for you, dude.
To like clean the house, put away the dishes, take out the garbage, or I have to do it when she's watching the baby. Or like if I want to go to the gym, I have to do it like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And then be there at 6:30, go until 7:30, and then the baby wakes up around like 9 or 10 maximum. But they wake up early, and they're always like, well, how else are you going to get stuff done? And I've never really dissected that comment.
Yeah.
Or asked them, like, what drove you to that point in life? Until now. Because now I'm like, how else would I get stuff done?
Yeah.
If I didn't wake up when the sun did, Like the farmer's life. And so, I think that's a good idea on your part, specifically because it really does lock in your circadian rhythm, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, like, you just have so much time. This a side rant, right? Mm-hmm. Our TV in our living room just broke.
Oh.
So, like, the big one in the living room?
Yeah.
So, I just have so much more production time. Because I'm not sitting in front of this brain-rotting screen. And I'm like, wow, all the laundry's done. I could probably that. And chores take so little time that if you don't have some type of, like, mental disorder, you're like, I'm just going to do it. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Like, if you don't, I'm sure there's someone right now who's like, well, I have ADHD, so it doesn't work that way for me.
Like, gotcha. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to defend them, really.
Yeah. No, I got you. That makes sense.
But my brain is just like, I'm not watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not zoned in. You know, I don't have background stuff going on while I'm doing other stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm like, I'm just going to vacuum.
Yeah.
It takes me 10 minutes maximum.
Oh, man.
I can, like, do the dishes, vacuum, and cook food in, like, 40 minutes.
Nice.
And then while I'm cooking the food, I'll just do the dishes I'm doing. So, like, by the time I'm done, I'm like, oh, I bleached the counters, and I cleaned the dishes, and I cooked food for, like, the next 3 days, chicken and rice, you know, the standard. And then I was like, and I vacuumed. And then for the whole week, I just feel better about my surroundings.
Yeah.
You feel more in control of your life and surroundings when you actively give attention to your surroundings.
Yeah.
And you know, taking care of them as far as a cleaning facet or even an organization facet. Makes my brain feel better. It's like the stack of cups behind you right now.
Yeah.
That pleases me.
Oh,
that's
excellent.
Hot.
Yeah.
He has the feet are together, so one's upside down and the other one's right side up.
Yeah.
But they're proportional, right? So
it's a stack of, like, just mugs, basically. So they're
all the same size. Looks so good.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm glad you like them.
To have, like, that in my home is like, yes, things are in order.
Yeah.
Based on how I like them in my house. And that makes my brain feel less cluttered, which makes me feel more at ease emotionally and physically.
Yeah. I definitely notice a correlation between my stress levels and how clean the apartment is. Yeah. And it's definitely one of those things where these last few weeks since I've been staying in the studio much later at night, like, the swings of how messy the house gets have gotten much bigger. Yeah. Because normally I can, you know, it's like, it'll get a bit messy sometimes, but then, you know, within a couple days, you know, I'll clean it up or I'll do the normal cleaning thing. But this is, since I've been coming home so late in the studio, from the studio, it's like, all right, I get home, take off my shoes, all the layers of clothing come off because I'm, you know, wearing all these layers to stay warm in the studio, and I'm just putting them on the chair that's next to the door, and I'm kicking off my shoes, and I'm just, and everything's chaos, and it's just, yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, well, but, I mean, you know, you gotta put your spoon somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, Jeffrey's here. Hi, Jeffrey. Jeffrey's the my neighbor's cat who sometimes comes to the studio because he knows that we give him treats.
He's skulking around like, where the are my treats?
Yeah. Honestly, if he just transformed into a displacer beast one day, I would not be surprised.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds bad.
You don't know what a displacer beast is? It's like D&D classic.
Is it a beast that displaces items?
It displaces itself. Just look at it.
You mean he just runs away?
No. You see, I'll show you. Let's turn off the recorder and I'll show you.
Okay.
All right. We're probably gonna take a break, a week off. So I hope y'all enjoy your new year, your holidays, your existence within a corporeal form.
Yep, and remember, everything you buy supports the company that destroys the planet. But no, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Except for if you buy from like an individual artist like us, I guess.
Yeah, buy local.
Honestly, buy.
Or just like make stuff.
Yeah.
Make stuff for your people. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of The Mud Peddlers. We would love to hear from you, so if you want to share your thoughts about the episodes or just see what Donte and I are working on in our studios, come say hi. You can find links to my social media at lindseymdillon.com. That's LINDSEY, M as in monster, DILLON.com.
And you can visit my pottery shop or see what I'm working on at earthnationceramics.com. And you can find me all over social media at Earth Nation Ceramics. It's spelled exactly how you think it's spelled.
And if you want to support the show, hear some bonus episodes, and see some behind the scenes of my work, you can support me and the show at patreon.com/Lindsey M Dillon. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.